Planning and Development, a proud partner with the Greater Chicago Food Depository. And we welcome you here this morning for an event that we've been working on for a while, program launch. I'm going to simply just help serve as the run-of-show mistress of ceremonies and try to speak over the loading. But my first person I'd like to bring to the podium is Kate Mayer. She's the Chief Executive Officer for the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Kate, come forward, please.
Thank you, Susan, and I am not going to apologize for the loud noise or the activity. This is a working warehouse, something that we are incredibly proud of, and frankly, something that we are grateful for because of the support of a couple of individuals in this room. I know that President Preckwinkle will acknowledge the very important elected officials we have in the room, but I do want to just take a moment of privilege to acknowledge Senator Durbin and President Preckwinkle for being here, not just today, but frankly, for so many days in the history of this organization. They have both been incredible leaders and partners to this mission, and it's a privilege to have you here today, so thank you both. As Susan said, I am Kate Mayer. I am the CEO of the Food Depository, and on behalf of this entire team, and I have many of my colleagues here today, we are so grateful to welcome you. We are excited about what is happening behind us, and I want to take a moment to express our deep gratitude for the important investment that Cook County's Bureau of Economic Development has made in strengthening our emergency food system. As I said to Senator Durbin, this is really the greatest example of taking lemons and making lemonade that I have ever seen. Through critical federal American Recovery Plan Act, or ARPA, support, this project has come forward in a way that not only responded to the emergency of a pandemic, but will help increase the supply of nutritious food and address the pandemic of hunger in the south and west suburbs of Cook County for days, weeks, and months and years to come. It will mean that our extraordinary partners will have freezers, they will have shelving units, grocery carts, and other items, including amazing vans, that will help enhance the guest experience, will result in more food on pantry shelves, and more neighbors having the amazing food that they need to thrive. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the heroes who are in this room. We have a big contingent from the Hattie B. Williams Food Pantry. If you could. A slightly smaller, but less amazing contingent from Grace United Church. And also a formidable representative from St. Cletus. These are organizations that have been on the front lines before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and now as we continue to see record need of individuals turning to us, they are making sure that our neighbors have food to eat. I want to just take a moment and talk about the importance of these vans. You only have to ask one of our pantry partners what a big difference a refrigerated van can make in the work that they do, especially during the summer months. These pantry partners will now be able to provide even more food to their guests because they will be able to collect fresh, unsold food from local grocers that they can then distribute to our neighbors. They will be able to make home deliveries to household neighbors at high risk of food insecurity. And at a time when so many families are still struggling to make ends meet, this is a big deal. Currently, 1 in 5 households in the Chicago metropolitan area and 1 in 4 children with households with children are food insecure. Think about what that means. In every classroom in our metropolitan area, 1 out of every 4 children is struggling with access to enough food to eat. Even more staggering, these numbers are higher when we are talking about our Latino and our Black neighborhoods. Many of our neighbors live in communities that have endured years of systemic inequity and disinvestment. So let me tell you about the impact of one of these vans. I had a privilege of going to visit the team at Hattie B. Williams Food Pantry recently, and I saw firsthand what these dollars and what this investment means. The investment means that neighbors like Twala Brooks, who started visiting the food pantry during the pandemic, when she said it was hard to put food on the table for her 10-year-old son, Keegan, it means that when she came to that pantry, she got food. And ever since then, she has talked with the pantry about how grateful she is for a trusted partner helping to keep her son fed. There are so many more stories like that, but I'll close with gratitude. My thanks to you, President Preckwinkle, for your commitment, and to you, Senator Durbin, for your support. The Food Depository and our partner network are so proud to be able to maximize our impact in communities and serve even more of our neighbors. We believe that food is a basic human right, and your support helps extend that right to even more of our neighbors throughout Chicago and Cook County, making us together truly greater. Thank you.
Now we'd like to introduce President Tony Preckwinkle, President of Cook County.
Good morning. I want to thank the Greater Chicago Food Depository and Executive Director Kate Mayer for that warm introduction. This is a special day as we cut the ribbon for these new vans designed to support the work of the Food Depository and their network of food access sites. I want to thank the Food Depository for being such a great partner and for hosting us today. And I have to say, I knew about the work of the Food Depository before the pandemic, but it was really the pandemic that brought the county and the Food Depository together, working so closely to provide access to quality food for our residents here in Cook County. Let me acknowledge the folks who are with us. Of course, U.S. Senator Dick Durbin. He's our senior senator. Let's give him a round of applause. Come on. Not every day we have a U.S. Senator with us. And I'm very grateful to him for his work in Washington. On behalf of the residents of Cook County, we are very, very grateful. We have 2 commissioners with us, Commissioner Donna Miller and Commissioner Alma Anaya. Alderwoman Helu Gutierrez. Grange Village President Mark Kushler, Mayor Derek Burgess of the village of Sauk, Sauk Village, Glenita Williams, who's representing U.S. Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Reverend Melody Seaton of Grace United Church of Christ Food Pantry, and representatives from Hattie B. Williams Food Pantry and St. Cletus Food Pantry. So another round of applause for all of them. So, in Cook County, half of our budget is health care, and I always talk about the fact that health care is a right. We should have universal health care in this country. But it's also a right to have access to food. And no one in our country should go hungry. And no one, of course, in the wealthiest country in the world, right, should go hungry. That's why we knew immediately that we would commit some of our resources from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, towards food access. Now, Again, I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank President Biden and Senator Durbin, all the members of Congress, for ensuring that we had these resources to help us deal with the pandemic and its aftermath. We're very grateful to them. And today, by providing some of these resources to our partners, like the Greater Chicago Food Depository, we're making it easier for these 3 food access sites to increase their capacity to serve more people. We're delighted to unveil 3 new cold storage vans to be used, as you heard from Kate, by Grace United Church of Christ, Hattie B. Williams Food Pantry, and St. Cletus Food Pantry. These vans are customized with logos and vibrant imagery on their exteriors, but we know what's really important is what's on the inside: fresh, healthy food. The 3 food access sites I just mentioned will utilize these vans to make deliveries to those who might not be able to visit a pantry on their own. They will also transport food products received from grocery stores and other retailers to other pantries ready for restocking. And these vans are refrigerated, so produce and other items will stay fresh during transport. We partnered with the Greater Chicago Food Depository, which works with a network of 800 food access sites, to create a program that would help our food pantries in suburban Cook County. Besides these vans, the program funded pantries with facility upgrades like additional refrigeration equipment and better shelving. Over $2 million has been allocated to this program, all to promote a healthier and more dignified shopping experience for visitors and customers. In total, the program, which was established in 2022, has invested in 35 food partner sites to distribute 4.6 million pounds of fresh food to over 32,600 households. Thank you. So we are very proud of this work, very proud of this work. And now more people in the Grange, Oak Forest, Sauk Village, and beyond will have access to fresh food thanks to these vans. So thank you all once again. We look forward to seeing these vans out on the street. Now, I'm going to ask each speaker to introduce the person that follows them. And it's my pleasure to introduce the senior senator from Illinois, one Dick Durbin.
Thank you, Tony Preckwinkle. You won't believe the work she does as president of the Cook County Board. So many important things, this is one of them. But to keep Stroger Hospital open, highly professional, and effective in serving the neighborhood and community is her first responsibility as far as I'm concerned. Tony, you do a remarkable job. Thank you for your leadership. So when the new president, Joe Biden, came in, he said we need an American rescue plan. We've got to deal with this pandemic, and we've got to deal with this economy, and we've got to help America get back on its feet. And one of the first things he did was to guide this through Congress, successfully bringing millions and millions of dollars to communities all around the United States. It worked. We have 15 million more people working today than we did then. In the state of Illinois, 500,000 more working today. The economy is turning around and moving in the right direction. But the president also wanted to reach out to Chicago Greater Food Depository and many agencies just like that all around the United States. And so the money came flowing. One of the investments, of course, was in food to keep people fed during these tough times. But also there was an investment in the infrastructure of this food depository, and we're looking at it today. These 3 refrigerated trucks are going to serve not only this week and this year, but for many years to come. President Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan did that, and I was happy to vote for it and happy to be here today to take credit for it. You know, there are a lot of people who may not know what the Greater Chicago Food Depository is, or the people who work here, but I do. I know Kate Mayer, I know what's in her heart, I've worked with her for years. She is one of the best. And I've come to know the people who work with her. They're remarkable. They do God's work, and they're amply rewarded in heaven for it, but they should be rewarded here on earth. Let's give a round of applause to all the volunteers and workers. In a way, this is a global fraternity and sorority all around the world doing this work, reaching out to starving people, because sadly in this world we live in, there are many who are suffering. Some in the city of Chicago, some as far away as the Gaza Strip in the Middle East. I'd like to tell you a story very briefly, because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I want you to know. 2 weeks ago, I met in Washington, D.C. in the United States Capitol with a man named Jose Veras. Mr. Veras was born in Spain, but he is a citizen of the world. He created something called the World Central Kitchen. What he does is go to the most dangerous places on earth and feed hungry people. He told us his vision of what he could do in Gaza with this terrible war that's raging. Thousands of people have been killed and children are literally starving to death in Gaza. He said, I'm going in there to feed them. I'm going to take my volunteers and my staff in with me. And we're going to get this done. And I'm going to build a ramp so that we can take all sorts of shipments off of the boats and bring them in and really turn this around. This humanitarian crisis has to end. He's a remarkable man. And when you're around him, you feel remarkable too. You feel like I can be part of this. The reason I bring this story up to you today is not only to link what he's doing with what we're doing here, but also tell you a sad story. Last night, 7 of his humanitarian workers were killed. There was a direct hit on them by a military, and they were killed, 7 of them. He's announced publicly that he has to suspend his operations until they can be safe again. I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence for these 7 volunteers, our brothers and sisters in spirit. Thank you. It's time for a ceasefire. It's time for peace in the Middle East. It's time for these people, as well as others all around the world, to have an opportunity to be fed and to live the lives that they're meant to live. Thank you for being here today, and I'm proud to introduce Commissioner Donna Miller. Donna?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller. Thank you so much, Senator Durbin, for that introduction. And I want to thank President Preckwinkle and her whole team, as well as the Bureau of Economic Development and Chicago Food Depository for this important and needed initiative. I'd like to congratulate and thank Grace United Church, Food Pantry, and Melody Staten, who has done a wonderful job in Sauk Village. And if you get a chance to come over and check out what she has going on there, they do have a working farm there as well, a beautiful long table where we can all sit and eat, and it's really something to see. Also want to thank Hattie B. Williams Food Pantry in Oak Forest, which is, both of these are actually in my district, which shows the need for Greater Food Depository to be greater inclusive of all of what is around in Cook County, because logistics matter. And these trucks are gonna make a huge difference in getting what food and what is needed to the people in the community. And Hattie B. Williams, I know, has a great story as to how the name came to be from someone's grandmother, right? Great-grandmother? Sister, okay. So it just shows that stories matter, and what was started with one person's dream and ideas can. The lack of access to fresh produce and healthy foods is a key factor in the health disparities in the Southland and across Cook County. And also another reason why we worked at Cook County to pass a tax incentive to create a 7D incentive for real estate used for the expansion and renovation of existing grocery stores. Many areas are designated food deserts throughout not only the south suburbs, but throughout Cook County as a whole. We have many disparities that we have to address to help people while they're in need. This maintains their dignity by providing them with quality food, and is also important to their overall health. The ARPA funding that is that we use today to make these cold vans available. The food depositories partner pantries so that individuals and families suffering from food insecurity will have a trusted place to go and ensure that they have quality food is another example of the county's intentionality in addressing these inequities. No one should be without the basic necessities to live, especially something as basic as healthy food. I'm excited to see this investment come to fruition. I'll be excited to see these vans driving around through different neighborhoods across the Southland. And I thank all the workers here at Chicago Food Depository for the heartfelt work that you do. It really shows in everything that comes out of here. And I know that we'll continue to work together with all the government leaders and private partners to fight for our communities. So thank you so much. Next, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Commissioner Alma Naya.
Good morning. It's a little brisky in here, but I think the warmth of being in fellowship with you all is really exciting to me. So again, my name is Alma Naya. I am the Cook County Commissioner of the 7th District. So welcome to the 7th District, the great and mighty Southwest side. You know, as the Vice Chair of Business and Economic Development and the Vice Chair of Health and Hospitals, this is such a beautiful marriage in my view of the things that we're working on and the great initiatives. I think we're in a zip code right now, 60632, that consistently through the pandemic saw the biggest concentrations of people getting COVID and unfortunate deaths. Throughout the pandemic, it was always at one of the top 5 zip codes in the whole state. So this, not only is this building very significant because it stands in the zip code, but what happened and what came out of 60632 was really life-saving work, because it really was. The food depository, all of staff, and the individuals that really made it operational were heroes to me. And I'm sure that they were heroes, just like, you know, the other pantries that are here present, in ensuring that there was access to food. Because the pandemic really, really, really impacted us all very differently. Some of us was, oh, we just can't go out to a restaurant. But some of them were, I can't give kids to my children. I'm sorry, I can't give food to my children. And what's gonna happen to my kids and my family? And the reality of that and the disparities that exist in our county with access to food is something that really was in our face during the pandemic, and we need to make sure that we recognize it. And these food vans, the refrigerated food vans, are so important because of that access. I had the pleasure of working with the Greater Chicago Food Depository during the pandemic, because we were able to bring 2 pantries locally to my district twice a week. And now we're still working with them. We have a continuous collaboration in the southwest side and back of the yards neighborhood, where we're still doing food pantries, and we're making it accessible to individuals. And one of the reasons why this is one of the most important part of my job as a Cook County Commissioner is because I was once that kid that was eagerly looking in a box when we received something at a food pantry, and really excited to see, you know, a cereal box or potentially some other really great things that were coming. But I think this is really transformative, because it's not only going to be cereals and rice and beans and canned foods, this is going to be fresh foods. And that has been one of the missions that we have seen at the county, to ensure that we have access to fresh food, and to make sure that that is in collaboration with the impact that it causes on an individual, not only for survival, but also for health. And I just want to recognize, I know Melva is here from Commissioner Deere's office, and I know Commissioner Deere has been at the forefront of the food as medicine work that has been really instrumental at the county, and this is just an extension of that. So again, I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful, and I'm very appreciative of all of your hard work, because this is not just today. This is not the beginning of something. This has just been an expansion of something that you all have really put your effort into for for many, many years to ensuring that our communities, the Black and brown communities and marginalized individuals, have access to food and have that really transformative change in their life and life-changing. So we are very appreciative of that. Really quickly in Spanish, hola, me llamo Alma Naya, soy comisionada del 7º Distrito del Condado de Cook. Hoy me alegro mucho de estar aquí hoy día porque estamos haciendo esta inauguración de estas vans que están atrás de mí, que van a dar mucha más comida fresca a las comunidades que más se necesitan en los suburbios de Chicago. Sabemos que the Greater Chicago Food Depository nos ayudó muchísimo en dar ese acceso a comidas durante la pandemia y esto es algo que vamos a expandir mucho y estamos aquí muy orgullosamente apoyando este programa. So without further ado, I want to make sure to welcome and introduce the alderperson of this ward, Alderwoman Heilu Gutierrez of the 14th Ward.
Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be today here in the 14th Ward with you all, celebrating another milestone and another accomplishment of the Greater Chicago Food Depository. As Commissioner Anaya mentioned about the work and how we partner with them, I was in charge of those pantries back then when I was working with Commissioner Anaya as her district director. And for me now, being here as an alderwoman, it just brings me joy. And to share this space with you all and to see all the blessings that are continue to happen in the entire county. For me, it's a great pleasure to be here with you all today. I know this is going to continue to get bigger and bigger because I know the Greater Chicago Food Depository is serving, I think, thousands of people at this point. And for us to be Greater Chicago Food Depository, to be in the 14th Ward, it's a great blessing for all the communities in this state and these cities. So I just want to thank you all for the great work that you all are doing, and we would like to continue to work hand in hand with you all so we can continue to provide this. You all know I'm the mom of 2 little ones, third one on the way. So how important it is to be able to provide for our kids and to bring those blessings to all of the families in Cook County. So thank you, Greater Chicago Food Depository. Thank you, all the partners. Thank you, Senator, President, for bringing those dollars where they need to be, where we need them. Bien rápido también en español, soy la concejal Heilu Gutiérrez del Distrito 14. Para mí es un placer estar hoy día con ustedes compartiendo esta nueva inauguración de estas 3 camionetas que van a servir para nuestro condado, para seguir haciendo este bonito trabajo que es brindar equidad y calidad de alimentos y servicios a todas nuestras comunidades aquí en el condado. Para mí es un placer que el depósito de comida esté dentro del Distrito 14, el cual soy la concejal, y me sumo a los esfuerzos, así como lo hicimos en la pandemia cuando trabajaba con la comisionada Anaya, para continuar brindando estas bendiciones a todas las familias en el condado de Cook. Muchísimas gracias.
Okay, do we have any questions? I love it, no questions. Okay, let's cut the ribbon. All right, how do you want to do this?
Excuse me, sir. Could you just, so we can see that? Thank you. Thank you. Otherwise, we all start running up there and it gets crazy.
There.
No, you're good.
You're okay.
I'm gonna start right here. Make sure, this is the one after the other. Okay.
Hey Taylor, I have to shoot this too.
Okay.
You're okay right there, yeah.
No, just need it clear for the cutting.
Okay.